Now at 11, chaos and confusion tonight at the border where thousands of migrants are gathering, hoping to enter the United States. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. Title 42, the Trump-era COVID-19 policy that allowed the U.S. to turn back migrants for health reasons, has officially expired.
Hundreds of thousands of migrants are hoping to enter the United States, but tonight the Biden administration is warning migrants not to believe the lies of smugglers, reiterating the border is not open. Migrants and asylum seekers have been gathering at the U.S.-Mexico border near San Ysidro and across the Southwest in huge numbers for weeks, many fleeing persecution, violence, or poverty in their home countries. But disinformation is causing chaos and confusion.
John Fenoglio here in studio with a look at the situation right now. John?
And this is the spirit of prophecy, okay? It's about to get real crazy. All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring. The house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers. Shalom to the elect. I'm back at you with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Kodash. Chaos and confusion. Order out of chaos. This is all set up by the elites. Title 42 explained. What is it? Why is it ending? And what's next? All right. And we're going to keep our eyes glued on this situation because this could be a very chaotic summer. You know, you have thousands upon thousands of the Northern Kingdom tribes that are flooding inside the states. All right. Real quick. Just bringing out this article from naturalnews.com in relation to this topic here. It says treason. Biden regime coordinating with Mexican government to secretly facilitate mass illegal migrant invasion. All right. So what's happening right now is that America is being invaded. You know, just going to read a little bit here. It says initially it was thought that Joe Biden's open border policies were bad enough in contributing to a record number of migrants crossing into the U.S. illegally during his term thus far. But it turns out there's much more to it. It says, in fact, according to a revealing report published this week, the Biden regime has actually been coordinating with the Mexican government to send migrants over into the U.S. by the tens of thousands. So this is all set up. This is all set up to bring what? That chaos and confusion. Okay. It says, in recent days, large crowds of immigrants have formed on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande, fully prepared to swim over well-worn crossing spots to Brownsville, but seemingly held back by unarmed Mexican immigration officials, the Center for Immigration Studies said in report. Okay, it says over the course of several days, recently on the Mexican side, a noticeable pattern emerged as approximately 3,000 immigrants per day, right? 3,000 immigrants per day crossed over to Brownsville without encountering opposition for the other side because it's all set up, man. All right. And, you know, we were talking amongst each other and it's been talked about how, you know, there's agents, spies, mercenaries from these other countries, such as Russia and China, that are in the midst of these crowds that are entering inside of America's borders. All right. So just expect more false flags, you know, more so-called terrorist attacks. It's about to get real crazy out here, man. Right. This is why they kept mentioning, you know, chaos and confusion, because that's what the elites want. OK, you're going to have so-called undocumented immigrants doing wild shit, man. Right. So expect to see things happening in cities, explosions. Who knows, man? We just, I'm just speaking in the spirit, but we know that this is all been set up by design. All right. Esau has agents in the midst. You're gonna have mercenaries from other nations. So a lot of crazy shit is gonna happen through the spirit. All right. And there was a comment here that I wanted to read before I go back to this video that stood out to me. Bear with me. Yeah, right here from Edwin B. All right. So it says living in America is going to become a challenge for these migrants because of the high cost of living and not enough affordable housing. And most are going to work in low paying jobs that won't be enough to cover the basic living expenses. Yeah. So you're going to have more crimes, robberies, murders. Let me get this, because this is what's going to happen. Chaos and confusion is part of prophecy. This is what's going to happen to America, man. All right. 2 Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for their sword and destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. This is why you having all these Americans buying up all the guns, ammunition, because a lot of these Edomites, they know what's getting ready to happen. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, because it's going to be a time of lawlessness. Okay. All this chaos and confusion is going to bring ultimately bring the breakdown of this American society. All right. To the point where there is no more law and order. Right. So it says they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. Meaning people are going to take actions in their own hands at that time. OK, it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because what's going to happen? More of these false flags are going to pop off, and they're going to lock America down. They're going to shut cities down. It's going to be martial law. Right. Where the military is going to be pretty much in power and running the streets. It says a man should desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, because it's going to be a very terrible time. Okay. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So going back to that comment, all right, the lack of resources, the low income jobs, the high cost of living, we're in the time of inflation. All right. Shit is real out here, man. So these migrants, they ain't gonna have no choice. It's going to get wild. All right. If you in the spirit, you can see how this thing is going to play out. Russian spies, Chinese spies in the midst, mercenaries in the midst that are entering in the borders of America now. Okay, so this plays, matter of fact, before we play the video, let's go to Isaiah 24 real quick. It's Isaiah 24 and 8. It says, the mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. You see that? And that's America. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Okay. And we're in the time of, businesses being closed, right? Things getting shut down with the lack of work, jobs, this is a terrible time. And then on top of that, you have these floods of immigrants coming in, these illegal, undocumented immigrants, as Esau would say, right? Out of the worst time, right? It says, and one thing too, another point, all this stuff happens around, they always do these things around these so-called pagan holidays, because I believe this Sunday coming up is supposed to be so-called Mother's Day. So all this stuff is going to be overshadowed by, these this pagan holiday too, But going back, Isaiah 24 and 12, it says the city is left in desolation and the gate is smitten with destruction. All right. And the gate is supposed to guard the city. that word for gate, which is Shiar, right? It says gate of entrance. And what's going on right now at the borders, at the gates, right? You got floods of so-called immigrants coming in, right? Which is all set up, and it's going to bring forth chaos and confusion. Okay? This situation is going to be utilized to bring the destruction of the society. All right? We see that through the spirit, man. All right? Let me get one more, too. Isaiah 47 and 1. All right? It's Isaiah 47. Okay, Isaiah 47 and 1. And it reads, it says, come down and sit in the dust. That dust represents confusion. Okay? O virgin daughter of Babylon, all right, which is America, sit on the ground. There is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So it's spiritual that this place is being invaded with the migrant invasion. You know, so just keep your eyes, you know, on the situation, you know, because it's going to get wild, man. So let's play some more of this video.
Well, Sharon, Micah, that's right. Tonight, we're learning that many of these migrants have been reading misinformation on social media or have been told by smugglers that the end of Title 42 means the border is open. It is not. In fact, the new rules make it more difficult for migrants, especially asylum seekers, to stay in the U.S. Let's take a look at some of this video right quick. These dramatic images at the border just a short time ago. You can see desperate migrants in the border town of Matamoros, Mexico, crossing the Rio Grande in the dark, some carrying young children, hoping to make it across to the U.S. On the other side there is Brownsville, Texas, where border agents are waiting. Tonight, growing scenes of desperation on the U.S.-Mexico border. This father carries his baby in a suitcase as he crosses the Rio Grande from Matamoros into Texas. He's one of the tens of thousands of migrants fleeing extreme poverty and violence who have rushed the southwest border in anticipation of the end of Title 42, a pandemic health policy that allowed for the swift expulsion of migrants with few penalties or consideration of their claims for asylum protection.
I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open.
But tonight, a new policy with harsher penalties takes effect. Known as Title 8, it's expected to prevent many from getting asylum.
If anyone arrives at our southern border after midnight tonight, they will be presumed ineligible for asylum and subject to steeper consequences for unlawful entry, including a minimum 5-year ban on re-entry and potential criminal prosecution.
And so they try desperately to enter the U.S. before the deadline, hoping to be processed by U.S. Border Patrol.
I'm from Ghana.
Oh, you too. And what brings you here to the United States or trying to get into the United States?
Hey, my husband is worrying me, so he wants to kill me, so I ran away from the house. So I want a shelter because I'm afraid in my country. They are worrying me. They want to kill me.
Under the new rules, non-Mexican migrant asylum seekers will be rejected if they illegally cross into the U.S. without first applying for and being denied asylum in another country. Migrants must also schedule an appointment at a port of entry using a Customs and Border Patrol app. Failure to follow the rules will result in deportation without the ability to enter the U.S. for at least 5 years, possibly more. More than 20,000 migrants are currently in CBP custody, and U.S. border towns are feeling the pressure, where beds and shelters are in short supply, some already over capacity. The Biden administration is deploying some 1,500 troops to assist border authorities, but officials say the crush of people arriving daily is simply overwhelming. The end of Title 42, now the beginning of more problems on an already strained border.
Our current situation,
Like you said, the beginning of more problems, right? Hey, just pay attention. There's gonna be some false flags, different situations coming out of this thing, man. All right.
is the outcome of Congress leaving a broken, outdated immigration system in place for over 2 decades, despite unanimous agreement that we desperately need legislative reform.
House Republicans passed a sweeping border security bill today. It would add 22,000 new border agents, improve technology at ports of entry, build more border wall, and impose new, tougher restrictions on asylum seekers. The measure has little chance of passing the Democratic-controlled Senate. The White House says the GOP bill would make immigration system worse because it does, quote, nothing to address the root cause of migration. Chair Micah, back to you.
Right. So you got all these people coming in, which you say the gates are not open, right? And then brothers was talking about in certain states, you know, you have certain states allow you to carry guns without permits, you know. So you're going to have shit is going to happen. It's going to be crime. It's going to be theft, murders, you know. So real quick. All right, let's go to just want to make that point in Ezekiel 38. All right. Ezekiel 38, I just want to get this point here. All right, this is Ezekiel 38 and verse 11, and it reads, it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. All right, that's America, right, without any protection. You know, it says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, see, and having neither bars nor gates. Okay, that's why this place is going to get invaded. It's happening now. It says to take a spoil and to take a prey and to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited. All right, because these Americans, you know, they're at rest. They have comfort, right? It says, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. All right, so these American cities are going to get touched. All right, they're going to be destroyed. All right, things are going to happen. All right, as I'm telling you. Yeah, so that's pretty much the point. You know, let's continue to watch and see what's going to happen. All right, this is the information on Title 42. Pretty much explained. But as, you know, just land backing off that comment again, you know, it's going to get real out here, man. You know. But I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutation to all you Akim out there laboring. A Shalom.